Hey there everyone, it's Dan Wardrope from Flexxable. Today I wanted to talk to you about performance marketing and the pay per lead model, right? For those of you who don't know us, we run a pay per lead training program, and in that program we teach agencies to transition from retainer style contracts to selling leads on a pay per lead basis. The difference between what they sell them for and what they generate the leads for is their profit margin. So it's very much performance orientated. Okay, and today I wanted to talk to you about the pros and cons. All right, the honest positives and the honest negatives to do with performance-based model. All right. Hi everyone, thank you so much for watching our content. Every Tuesday and Thursday we're going to be releasing new videos, so if you want to stay up to date, all you have to do is click that subscribe button and ring that bell right down there. So let me start with the negatives, okay, because even though I'm a big proponent of pay per lead, and it's changed my life, there are some negative aspects to pay per lead, and I wanted to run through them with you, just so for full transparency if you're thinking about making the switch. All right, so firstly, it's hard initially to land a whale client. All right, in a lot of my marketing material I talk about generating hundreds of leads per week, even 100 leads per day, and we do that ourselves as an agency, but it takes time to be able to get those type of clients. Right, you're going to have to start at the bottom. If you've got clients already that might be interested in switching to pay per lead, then you might want to start with them on a small scale, prove concept, and then go out and sell that concept to the bigger clients in the market. Okay, it's difficult to start and just hit the ground and be doing thousands of leads per week, right? That takes time, and it takes skill, and it takes feedback from clients on quality and all that type of stuff. So I need to be transparent about that. But once you get it dialed in, oh my goodness, it can ramp up very quickly, very, very quickly indeed, to the point where you can build a seven-figure agency with one client alone. And it's exciting when that happens, right? Second thing is Facebook ad issues. I don't know whether this is, I know for a fact that any industry that you're in, whether you're a retainer, you're running client leads on a retainer basis or on a pay per lead basis, or if you're in the fitness industry, or if you're selling education products, or if you're in e-commerce, with Facebook, there's compliance issues, there's ad accounts getting shut down, and there's no rhyme or reason to a lot of this. Okay, so if you are thinking about getting into pay per lead and spending a significant amount on Facebook, then you're going to come across these issues, right? I don't think it's specific to the pay per lead industry, but it does happen, and that's why I wanted to tell you about it. Okay, it is difficult and it is painful at times, but there's always a way around it. And of course, you've got other ad networks, which I'll touch on in a bit. All right, the next negative is profit margins when you begin with, as I said, the smaller clients are sometimes thin. All right, let's say you're getting paid $50 a lead in an industry. A lot of the time, it's going to cost you roughly $50 to generate those leads when you're starting out. All right, and a lot of people become disheartened when they're like, it's not working. I'm not doing enough volume of leads and I'm not making enough per lead. And that sometimes happens, and it's not unusual. But again, Rome isn't built in a day. You're trying to build a sustainable, super profitable agency here, and you can't expect things just to go like that out of the gate. All right. So be prepared to be struggling a little bit with your profit margins when you begin until things get dialed in. It takes time. That's what I'm trying to say. The next negative, clients, if they are unhappy with the lead quality and they're not getting an ROI on the ads, then they'll switch off like that. All right, they'll order a week's worth of leads and then they'll just stop. And basically, you've put a lot of hard work in to be able to be building the funnels for them and all that type of stuff, and then they'll just switch off. All right, if they're not getting the ROI, so you have to be ready for that type of rejection. You have to have some thick skin, okay? Because this is performance-based marketing, right? If you don't perform, you don't get paid. And we'll talk about the positives in a second, but be prepared for this to happen. The next one is sometimes it's hard to get paid up front, all right? I would say 75% of our clients in my agency, Flex Digital, pay up front, and that's just the way we've positioned our offer. Some of you might not be so confident with selling the pay up front model, okay? And if you're a bit nervous and you're not great at sales and you haven't got some case studies and some proof, then some of them are going to want 1 week payment terms. So you're going to be basically delivering the leads and waiting, and you could be waiting a week to get paid, all right? The good thing is that you're putting your credit card on the advertising account and there's 30-day billing sequences, right? So it's not like the money's really coming out of your account, it's just you're getting paid a week later. So that is another negative that that you sometimes might experience, all right? So I wrote a little list here of the negatives, and that's all I could come up to. If you've got other things that you want to discuss, then post below this video. You've got any thoughts or concerns, and I'll try and address the other negative things that you might be talking about. But that's, pretty much what I could come up with. All right, they're the major things. All right, let's move on to the positives. All right, and this is where it gets exciting. The first thing is it's way, way, way easier to land clients. All right, pay per lead, performance-based marketing is an offer that converts. All right, you try and sell a 6-month retainer contract, doing web design, a bit of SEO, some funnels, some copywriting. You try and package all of that up and sell it for $5,000 a month or whatever. It's a really difficult sell because the client is not can't see the results there. It's obvious, right? But if you say to the client, here's 100 leads. If you like them, then you can order again. If you don't like them, then we'll part ways. That's a very strong offer, and it's an offer that converts, and it's very easy to get in front of prospects. If you kiss a few frogs, right? So that's the first thing. It's easier to land clients, and it's easy to transition clients. And this is really powerful as well. So if you are running an agency at the moment and you have clients where you know what their cost per lead is, and you know about the quality, and you know roughly how things are going in the campaigns, and you know that it's working, then it's so easy to go and create some kind of a brand in that space and then sell that brand and those leads to either the current client, although I would always want to recommend like losing some retainer income that's coming in, but you can sell the leads to their competitors. This is, business, right? So it is very, very easy to transition clients or transition a vertical from, the old way to the new way. And that's quite exciting for me. There's also more control. So the way we teach pay per lead and performance marketing is to be able to, if you're delivering leads on a one-to-one basis with a client, i.e. through their website, then we build all of the funnels offline and attach them to the client's website as a subdomain. All right, so the client has no control over anything. They just get the leads and they work the leads and they close the leads. They don't get to mess around with the funnels, okay? And the same goes for when you build a brand, which I'll touch on in a minute. So you can actually build a brand and then sell leads to multiple clients from that one brand. And that's a big positive, but again, there's more control. That's what my point is here. The second positive is that there's way more control. You don't have clients messing with all that type of stuff, all right? The next thing is higher profit margin when you've got things dialed in, all right? I mentioned before that, you can build a 7-figure agency with one client, all right? You should be making roughly 50% gross profit on that margin, all right? So let's say you're billing $1 million a year, you should be making roughly half that in profit margin, all right? Then you've got your overheads and all the stuff that comes out of that 50%, but that's, pretty significant profit margin, all right? And it's also extremely scalable, all right? The next thing is there's less to do. There's less to do. All you have to worry about is generating leads, all right, through a funnel. And writing ads and generating leads and tweaking the funnel. That's all there is. There's none of this, doing a million things. You only have to be good at one thing, which is lead generation, which means you can be a master. You can become a master in a specific vertical because it's the only thing you've had to focus on. Forget website design, forget, copywriting. and doing copy on people's landing pages. Forget email marketing. Forget all of this type of stuff that a lot of us marketers are used to selling. All right, it's just leads. Okay. The next thing is the clients love you, right? If you can help grow their business via the leads that you're generating them for them, then they will honestly go out of their way to make you feel extremely special. And this has happened to me time and time again. Multiple, swish dinners out with clients, multiple bottles of wine being sent to my house, holidays, all sorts of cool stuff that's offered, like trips to the racetrack, trips to the races. We get spoiled all the time from our clients when you've got that great relationship, because they think of you as a team member rather than an outside agency. You're an integral part of their business, because let's face it, leads are the lifeblood of their business. And when you can get it dialed in, the world is your oyster. All right. Okay. The next thing is frequent flyer points. This is a pretty cool one. Not many people realize this, but if you're building your own brand, or even if you're delivering leads one-to-one with a client, every single time you do it, you have your own advertising account that the client doesn't get access to, right? And that means it's your credit card that's going on there. And if you're spending, $1 million a year on ads for all your pay-per-lead clients, that means you're flying to Australia 3 or 4 times over business class or even first class with those points. All right, and that's a significant benefit. You can also cash in those points for money off your ad spend. You can buy, wine and all sorts of stuff with those points. So it's an amazing little perk that I actually geek out a little bit because I live in the UK and I have family in Australia. So that's been huge that I can fly my family over business class, multiple times a year if I wanted to. So that's another nice thing. The next positive is that you can build brands that have a sellable asset, that are a sellable asset. So let's say you're in the car finance industry or any industry. You can go and build a brand, a lead gen brand in that space, and you can point traffic to that brand from YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, whatever, and then distribute the leads to multiple clients from that brand. And that has a value. That brand has value, especially if you give it some personality and make it a little bit different to what everyone else is doing in the market. And not only that, you can take on multiple clients from that one brand, and you can also do, if you're good at SEO, you can build an organic presence for that website, which will mean that the leads coming in are free, okay, and also very high quality, because if people are searching, then they're clicking past all they're scrolling past all of the ads, and then they're finding the organic search results, okay, and not many businesses out there are doing a very good job with SEO. So if you're an SEO and you've got skills and you've got clients, then this is a really good model for you. And the last thing is multiple traffic sources. All right, if you're trying to convince a retainer client that they need to do YouTube ads and they need to do YouTube ads, for an example, it's probably going to take them 6 months to go and get a creative done that they're happy with, that you can then use on YouTube, that probably won't work, right? With pay-per-lead and having a brand and owning all of the creatives and the funnels and everything like that, we teach how to get a YouTube video up in a week, less than a week, and with lots of variations and pointing traffic to your funnel on your brand, very, very quickly. Which means that if Facebook goes down or there's problems over there, your cost per lead is getting too high, you can go over to YouTube. You can do the same thing with an advertorial funnel on Twitter. You can use the display network. You can look at stuff like Yahoo Gemini or Taboola. There's so many traffic forms out there, and it's kind of like pay per lead. Once you have an offer that converts in your industry, then you can very quickly point other traffic sources to that funnel, and that's how you can scale even further. All right, so it's quite exciting when you've got a client that loves you and you've got an offer that converts and you've got a cost per lead that's dialed in, because you can scale it to the moon. All right, so a few positives, a few negatives. Hopefully you'll see that I'm being pretty transparent here. And obviously the positives far outweigh the negatives. But, I wanted, to create this honest video for you so you get the full picture. If you're interested in finding out more, then you can obviously book a call with our team or myself. There'll be a link below this video somewhere. I hope to speak to you soon. Take care.